Peace and love, family. Welcome to another powerful, powerful discussion with your sister, Dr. Ma'at. Tonight, I have with me a young warrior, young brother Austin, and my comrade, brother Ankh. So let me tell you what's happening. I know you saw the title of the show. Instagram brother has proof that we aren't all African. Instagram brother has proof that we aren't all African. So you might be saying to yourself, Dr. Ma'at, what are you talking about? Well, let me show you, family. A few weeks ago, I posted this reel on my Instagram page entitled We Are Africans. And this was a discussion that I was having with Dr. Malefe Asante. We are Africans. And boy, oh boy, I got like maybe 200 comments underneath here. And let me make sure I share my sound because I want to make sure you all hear this. I have about comments, 200 comments underneath this post. People are like, we're not Africans. We're not. Well, first of all, let me play it for you. So this is Dr. Malefe Asante speaking. Hold on.
Black people, let's understand we are Africans. That's the
Mm.
first thing. If we don't understand we are Africans and we don't understand how to study and use our culture for our advantage, we will always be considered imitators. So that's the way it comes from. First of all,
Okay, so that's what he said. He said we're all Africans. When he said that, look at the responses, family, that I received from posting this stuff. All right, you had one guy, JVYBZY. He says, but what if we started in the States and branched out? Does it make sense to build one pyramid and then a bunch of smaller ones? Or does it make more sense to start out small and go big? So this brother's clearly lost. Then there's someone else, Josiah Washington. He says, Black Americans aren't Africans. Then you have someone, Dark Empath 1014. All Black people aren't Africans. The lies he tell. Then you have some other people. I'm not an African. I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. I'm telling you, y'all, if this wasn't like proof that we have an identity crisis, it's ridiculous. Like 200 comments and everybody's saying something different. Okay. So this one says, I may have a little if this, but through I was born in America. Although I was born in America, I'm African and I love that. And then someone said, no, that was 3,000 or 50,000 year past. I am an American. Okay. Another person said, I am Black, but not African. Hmm. And then here's Mr. Austin, Brother Austin, who joined us today. Brother Austin Jordan 415. He says, we are not African with exclamation points. Please do research into your family history using National Archives and not ancestral DNA tests. They are not real. Thought I was African until I did real research in my family. All right. That's what this brother said. Another brother said, y'all still talking this goofy SHIT in 2022, and none of you can validate this infamous boat ride to prove it happened otherwise. Stop the childish ish. None of you, old or young, so called Blacks, have absolutely no real proof of this claim. And I want to read this last comment, laughing my A off. This man is speaking not but bull shit. 99% of us have never stepped foot on a continent, and even your ancestors have never been there. Whoa! They just said our ancestors have never been there. They said, where are the boats? These are people who don't study. Where are the boats? Where's the culture? Where's the culture? I'm like, did this brother understand Africanisms? Where's the culture? Why is most of these Africans wanting to move to the States instead of moving there? Don't fall for this trap. He is saying some of the same nonsense that Garvey was spewing, and he was a total fraud. So, family, I mean, oh my goodness. I will put the link to this Instagram post in the chat so that you can read the comments. Okay. So the Instagram link is in the chat now. And so I have with me tonight, we got God Killer in the building, and we have Brother Austin in the building. Brother God Killer, say what's up to the people.
Blessings. How you doing, family? Black African Power. Thank you for having me on this powerful discussion. I don't know how you keep getting these young brothers, these powerful brothers on here. And it's just funny because I remember when I used to say the same things. And as my development as an African American ancestry, African, it's just, it's cool to have these discussions because I can recall, being in those exact spaces and elders challenging me in a classroom setting to prove my point every week. And so I'll do the same thing for the brother. And as I challenged the elders, I got beat down because you couldn't get past it. And it's funny, it's just amazing how I guarantee this brother will follow some of the elders we follow. But if you read the books past a certain point, you'll see that they were saying what we saying right now. It's just amazing, man. So it's always a good experience, and you always bring these good discussions.
All right, thank you very much, Brother Ankh. So, Brother Austin, my warrior, young warrior, I didn't know that you were as young as you were until you logged on. When we were like conversing on Instagram, I thought you were older. And then when I saw you, I said, okay, this is a young brother. And so peace to you, brother Austin, the young warrior, young Asafo. So thank you for coming on and welcome to the show. So my first question, Brother Austin, is this. Backstage, we were talking about the outer Africa theory, and you stated that you do not subscribe to the outer Africa theory. So could you talk to us first of all about what is the out of Africa theory and why don't you subscribe to it?
I don't really subscribe to the out of Africa theory
Well, state
because,
state what
like,
it is. State what it is first, because some people may not even know what we're talking about. So,
well,
mhm.
the out of Africa theory is basically that all humans come from Africa. We came out of Africa, which I can believe somewhat, but I have my own personal theory about what happened.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So tell me why you don't
For
subscribe to the theory. Mhm.
Okay, so I asked Doctor Unc, Unc,
Brother,
I asked him that's your name, right? Unc.
yeah, you just call me Uncle Bobby West. However
Uh,
you want to do it.
I asked him, did Neanderthals come out of Africa? And his response was no. Neanderthals came out of Europe. There were a lot of subspecies around, like around the Earth, you know. And I don't believe that like just we like one group of indigenous people sprouted from one area. They had to come from like at least two different areas. Africa, when during like Pangea was with South America. You know, now that these places haven't been dug up in South America for us to know what genes or like what bones and stuff that we can find over there. You know, so like I don't like the out of Africa theory is kind of like it's just a theory at the end of
Mm.
the day because you have different species found in different places that don't necessarily come out of Africa.
Okay, so let me pause right here, Brother Austin. So you don't subscribe to the outer Africa theory because you're going back to the days of, or the era of Pangea, when all the continents were together, and you're saying that you believe that during that time that the species may have been in different areas, and then human life came from those species or evolved from those species. So is that your belief?
Um, yeah, yeah,
Okay. And then you also said,
that's
I just want to make sure that I hear you correctly. So that was the first thing. And the second thing, you say, well, I don't subscribe to it because it's just a theory, right? So I want to tackle Ankh his first claim that he believes that when during Pangea, there were several species and situated in different areas, and then we evolved from those species in various areas. It wasn't one group of people who went around and populated the world. What are your thoughts on that, Brother Ankh?
Well, um, so you got to look at he mentioned something, and whenever you mention words, they kind of box you up, and it forces us to understand the words you're actually using. So you use the term Pangera, and that's a scientific explanation of how the continents actually moved, and they're still moving. Okay, so when you say Pangea, you're talking about over 300 million years ago. So now we're locked into a time. We're locked into a time of 300 million years. 300 million years. Now, 300 million years, there aren't any humans, right? No archaic humans. As a matter of fact, no mammals at 300 million years. We got to get that clear. Now, once we realize there's no mammals at 350,000 years, 300 million years, then your whole premise that you got is basically gone, null and void. There's no way to do that. So I'm glad we got that out the way. And it's just important to learn chronology. It's important to understand geography, the things that we actually learn in school. It's important. And so, we study anthropology. This is the college level anthropology book. And it's important to understand that, because if you can understand anthropology, then you can actually use that as a tool to understand who we are in this world. So yeah, so that's I gotta say that. And then the word theory, use the word theory.
I want to get to that, but wait a minute. So
Okay.
he said that, so during Pangea, we, like you said, that was 300 million years ago. No humans were there. So you said to say that there was some species and we evolved from that
Yeah.
species. You're like, it wasn't any species because it wasn't any human beings who
Yeah.
were living in that time period, right?
And no mammals. We're all mammals. We're in the scientific classification is mammals. Dolphins are mammals. Whales are mammals. Elephants are mammals. Chimpanzees are mammals, and humans are mammals. And we learned in school that the female aspect of being a mammal, breasts. All mammals have breasts, okay, but the women actually lactate milk, and when they have stillbirth, and they're attached to an umbilical cord. Mammals also have hair, so whales have hair. Dolphins give birth, the umbilical cord is still there, the water breaks, and they feed the calf milk. All mammals do that. So if you don't think you're a mammal, then you're not living on Earth. You're somewhere else.
All right, got you. Brother Austin wanted to chime in. Go ahead, Brother Austin.
Yeah, some of the one of the points that I wanted to tackle was like I asked you, if Neanderthals didn't start off in Africa, right? And we know that mostly white people have how much percentage of blood? Like 70 to 80%, or 50, like there's a high percentage of Neanderthal blood in them, right?
Not at that. No, no.
It's
Not
not
at
that
50 or 70.
not that
Wow,
high.
you're looking like 3%.
Yeah, not that high, brother.
Yeah, you didn't make. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we know that they have a Neanderthal blood in them. It's like, and then we know that they didn't come from Africa. How can we say that everybody came from Africa if some of us are like mixed in with some of these subspecies? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's actually a good
So
question.
how can we all come out of that? That's why I say it's just a theory, because we don't. Mongoloids don't come out of Africa. Mongoloids are in Asia. You know what I'm saying?
No, and if what you were saying were actually verifiable and the truth, then you would be right. The problem is there's this disinformation campaign. So actually the things you said are correct. Yeah, so white people aren't Neanderthal.
Okay.
Listen, white people aren't Neanderthal. Neanderthal is called Homo Neanderthal. White people are Homo sapiens. They're in the homogeneous family. Neanderthal is in the homogeneous family. As a matter of fact, Homo Neanderthal and Homo sapien diverged from Homo heidelbergensis. They're not quite sure when it diverged. When I say diverge, split. One went in one direction in Neanderthal, in the area Neanderthal Europe, the Strait of Gibraltar and those areas, and one diverged back in the Rift Valley. You know what I'm saying? So you get Homo sapien and you get Homo Neanderthal. So no, white people do not come from Homo Neanderthal. As a matter of fact, all human beings living today have Neanderthal genes. Just those who left Africa first have a high level of it. So African Americans, we actually are part of the largest human migration on planet Earth, based off the transcontinental kidnapping trade. So we have low levels of Neanderthal because we didn't leave Africa. We got shipped off of Africa, but all humans have.
I mean, everything that he's saying is verifiable. So, I mean, you, Austin, you can laugh, but everything that he's saying is verifiable. So, I want to ask you.
No,
this,
I laughed at
Austin.
the transatlantic slave thing. But
Oh,
go
okay.
ahead.
Yeah, everything he said was on. Everything he said was on point. If it wasn't, Brother Austin, trust me, I'd be like, Brother Ankh, I disagree. But everything he was saying was definitely on point. Well, let me ask you this question, Brother Austin. You mentioned, you said that the outer Africa theory is just a theory. You said just a theory. Can you explain the difference between a theory and a scientific theory?
A theory and a scientific theory.
Yes, it's actually it's a difference between a theory and a scientific theory. The outer Africa theory is a scientific theory. It's not just a theory. So can't you explain the difference between the two? Because you said that it was just a theory.
No, I don't know the. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know the exact definition of a scientific theory. Okay. I don't know the direct definition, so I'm not gonna.
Okay, yeah, no. I you know what, Brother Austin, I love brothers like you.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Who just be like, I don't know. Because you have some people, Brother Austin, that will pretend like they know and they don't know. Instead of just saying, I don't know, because we never know everything, right? Knowledge is infinite.
Right.
And that's why I always tell brothers and sisters, always remain teachable, always remain open to learning new things, you know? So go ahead, Brother.
Yeah, this is a learning experience.
Absolutely.
This is a learning experience.
Look, Austin, for all of us, brother, for all of us. Brother Ankh, go ahead and explain. Could you explain some of the difference?
How old is Brother Austin? Just if you don't mind me asking.
I'm 25.
Young warrior.
I was way more hard-headed than you, bro. I wouldn't have went.
Young warrior.
I ain't having it in me. I fought. Man, listen, bro. I fought for 6 months on this very issue right here. And I'm saying I was brazen with it. Like, I come to the classroom, I got my books, right? I'm fresh out of Nuwapianism, and I'm like, what? I'm battling. And I never forget it, bro. Like, I wasn't like you. Like, see, you're going to pick up way faster than I did. I was so busy fighting that I couldn't hear it. And that's what most people do. But for you, bro, you're going to be there quickly. Like, you might be here after the conversation. Because it ain't that hard. You're very intelligent. I was very arrogant, right?
Same here, Unc.
And guess what happened? I never forget an elder, a female. She was like, "So, Brother Unc, what's the problem you got with chimpanzees or monkeys? You so act because I was saying I was African though, but you so act. But what's the problem you got with the rest of the animals?" And it just hit me. I was like, I don't got nothing against the rest of the animals. You know what I'm saying? Like. That kind of struck me. This was after about week 4. When me coming, I'm getting beat up, ain't had no real evidence, not knowing what the theory was. And I was like, I really don't have no problem again. Like, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, later on, I would realize that Europeans, you know, they called us monkeys. And so that's really the thing that stuck right here for us, right? They called us monkeys. But yeah, hell, they called them gorillas. Called us monkeys and gorillas and called them chimpanzees. It's the darndest thing, right? Like Charles Darwin, they showed him as a monkey. So that kind of, you know, that's in our psyche, passed down through the generation. So don't nobody want to be a monkey or closely related to a monkey or a chimpanzee. Mm-hmm. So I get that, but yeah, man. So yeah, the theory aspect of it is really the difference between a theory and the scientific theory is 2 different things. So my theory is that brothers in the hood act crazy. That's just a theory, right? But that's not verified. It's not based off anything because most people in the hood don't act crazy. And if you was to do a scientific study on it, you would ask the research question. You would start off with a hypothesis. How do young brothers in urban areas act? That would be our research question. Yes, we would ask the question, and then we would collect data. We would go around the United States and collect that data, right? And we would apply the scientific method, and we would figure out our answer. So a theory is really, when a scientist use the word theory, they're really talking about the organizing of facts. Organized facts. So it's a scientific theory that Homo sapiens sapien evolved over time. I just wanted to give you that.
Okay.
So are you clear?
All I was trying to say is, yeah, I'm clear on that. But all I'm trying to say is that we don't have enough evidence And the reason why I say that is because we never dug up South America the way that we've done Africa. We've never dug up America the way that we've done Africa or Europe. We've never dug up America, the two continents, like North and South America at all, to enough to build that type of research, to know those type of things. That's why they're theories. You know, like we know, like we did that on the East, and when we gather information, okay, we know that the oldest body that we found in Africa, but it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have any research on that in other places.
So you know the word
over here, especially in the West, in what we call the West.
Okay, so all right, so
can we at least admit that?
No, you're right. You're right. So I just want you to say, I want you to understand this. Then that's why we say, as of now, the outer Africa theory is right and exact. So to overthrow a theory, okay, you must organize the same facts that the outer Africa theory organizes and add to it. So if they was to find ancient hominids in America, okay, that don't go back to Africa, then it would have to be a collection of facts organized that explains everything that the outer Africa theory explains, and then adds up to and then that theory will be overthrown, and we'll go with that. What I want you to know is they do a lot of digging in the Americas and South Americas, but so far as we go down to different stratas, they're not finding. They found 100,000-year-old find, and it wasn't even an actual. They found some animal bones that seem as if some type of hominid had broke it up or chopped it up or something like that. But no, they no. That's why we use the word as of now. So as of 2022, the outer Africa theory stands solid. So we'll help you out as of now. So yeah, if they find a lot of ancient hominoids and all that, then that absolutely could change, because it's not stuck, brother. That's why it's called science and not religion.
Right. And science is self-correcting. You understand that, Brother Austin? So as we uncover more, so as we or as scientists uncover more and more artifacts or data, then they tweak what they have. And that's just science. Science is self-correcting. So they would update and say, okay, well, this is what we previously thought, but we found this finding, which now says this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
So, I mean, but I understand that, but like, it kind of like gets back to my point of like, because we don't know, and because we have to go along, I understand that it's okay to go along with the information that we have, but we have to accept like ignorance at the same time, the fact that we don't know the possibilities of the other possibilities. That's why I say the out of Africa theory is just a theory. There may be other possibilities, you know? And until that research is done on that, then I'm going to continue on it's just a theory. It's until we know everything. But for right now, in this time, in this age, it's a theory.
Absolutely. It's a scientific theory. But it's a scientific theory that we have evidence to substantiate. However, as time goes on, like you said, Brother Austin, I don't know what they're going to uncover 100 years from now or 1,000 years from now. You get what I'm saying? I have no idea. But once they uncover it, then they will update what they have presented, right? Or what they thought, right? But we don't know that, because I mean, until it happens. And so right now, the out of Africa theory that we do have, there is evidence, there's fossil records, there's DNA that supports that theory. All right, Brother Ankh, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, I want to make sure that we're actually clear on what a scientific theory is. So actually, you're not. So let me show the screen, because I don't think you understand what it is. We're not speculating. It's not that.
Right, not at all.
A theory when we hanging outside and say, man, that chick was fine as I don't know what more. She fat to death. Well, how you think she got like that? Man, I think she ate grits growing up. That's a theory. We guessing, we thinking, right? But in actuality, scientists will do actual tests and organize facts. Let me show you this real quick. I think this is essential right here. We got to get this straight. We can't just, I don't want to run around the board, but here you go. We see the screen. See the screen, Dr. Oyamaya?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, so right here, scientific theory is an explanation of an aspect of natural world and the universe that has been repeatedly, keyword, repeatedly tested. So, so the outer Africa theory has been repeatedly tested, right, and collaborated in accordance with the scientific method. Okay, the scientific method is an imperial method of acquiring knowledge that has characterized the development of science since at least the 17th century. Watch this. Using accepted protocols and observations, measurements, and evaluations of results. Where possible, theories are tested under controlled conditions in an experiment. Circumstances not amenable to experimental testing, theories are evaluated through principles of deductive reasoning. Established scientific theories have withstood the rigors of scrutiny and embodied scientific knowledge. So there you go. So we just need to know that you can't just brush it off like that, like, oh damn, nah.
But see, the thing is that like in psychology, I think it's called a control group or control substance. So like when you only focus on Africa and Europe and you're getting those scientific and you're getting that you're gonna get that knowledge. You're gonna get that out of Africa and stuff because you're only focusing on that. You're only focusing on the East. You're not focusing on the West. So when you think about like the whole the Earth, we're talking about the Earth in the whole. We're not talking about where we assume like you know what I'm saying? Like everybody just came from the East. We can't just like you have a control group and that's yeah.
Oh, that's, I appreciate you saying that.
So like so like the way we think about it, we have to think about it as Earth in the whole, you know.
Yeah, and they already did that, and that's the point. Before the
1800s, they haven't dug up America though. They've done Africa or like they've done Europe. They haven't done that.
No, they actually do got. I know you. I know you know they found plenty of ancient human finds in America. I know.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say that, brother. That was.
You can't keep saying that.
Yeah, hold on, brother Austin. You can't keep saying that they completely focused on Europe and Africa. When you said that, I was like, wait a minute. Is he familiar with the fossils they found in the Americas, North, South, and throughout the Caribbean? Like you can't say that, Austin.
Yeah, you can't say
I'm familiar with it, but you have to understand that the South America is mostly Amazon forest. So and like they haven't done a lot of digging in South America. So that's what I'm saying. Like in South America, like, well, never mind. We already talked about the Pangea thing. We already got that straight. But yeah. So I'm just
I say we took that piece off the board. Now we got to take the piece off
the
board. You keep trying to use. I'm telling you that I'm going to pull up on the screen that they dig everywhere. Because watch this. Everybody wants to prove. Here's the part which you're not getting. No one is trying to concede. Watch this, to humans coming out of a place where only black people reside. Like the world fight pushes back against that. China, Japan, right now, China scientists are still pushing back against the outer Africa theory because they want to say, they used to say, Doc, I think you brought it up before on an earlier podcast on how China tried to prove that the oldest humans, and they still doing it, came from China, Asia.
Yeah, and then, brother, we can mention the Piltdown Man. Remember the Piltdown Man, where the British dude had the fossil, and you were talking about that years ago. He presented the fossil because he was trying to substantiate his claim that human life came out of England or Britain or something like that. I think it was.
Oh
England,
yeah.
So like Ankh said, like brother Ankh said, it's a lot of pushback. They don't want to, the Chinese and the Europeans, they don't want to admit that all human life comes from Africa. But go ahead, brother Ankh, share your screen.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, I just want to put this out there. I'm not anti-African or any of that. Like I respect, I respect Africa. Like I respect Africa and their achievements and everything. I respect it so much that I reflect on my people, and I don't feel like we're as better as them, you know what I'm saying? As best as like their achievements, you know. But go ahead.
Respect. I think we be honest with you, brother. We need to start respecting the community No, we need to start respecting the households we live in and the family we got around us. And then with that, you respect your community. And once you understand how to respect your community, then you get to respect
Um,
everywhere else. And then we get to Africa.
I
That's the
mean, yeah,
motherland.
yeah,
But you gotta, if you don't respect home base, bro, the world around you going to explode while you trying to fight for another peace. Like fight for the peace, because we're going through it right now in America, where brothers are killing each other at high levels. And I'm not talking about the other community, European community, because they kill themselves too. I'm simply talking about in our community, there's a need for people like us on this panel, right, to give the young brothers and sisters something. See, you're on this podcast at 25. In the hood, 25, you're ancient. You're here. You're doing something positive. It's not too many people your age having a discussion, an intelligent discussion, mind you, on the origins of, like, they're looking at you like you're crazy. So it's a need for this type of information to be brought to the community, because if you're taking time to do that, you ain't trying to hunt a person down based off the color they wear. So I'm saying we need to focus here. We understand the motherland. Evolution takes us to the motherland, and it's just essential. So what I want to say is that they've been trying to figure out the origins of humans for a long time. Okay, before the
right,
1800s, Europe and places in Europe thought that, and Christianized nations and Muslimized nations actually thought that the humans came from the Garden of Eden. See, we run by that. Right now today, if you ask your family, most of them are going to say we come from the Garden of Eden. Right now, 2022, with the iPhones in our hands, the computers, where you can be in another whole place, and we all Dr. Oyamaya's in another whole place, and I'm here in another place. Right now, people are saying that we come from the Garden of Eden. So imagine not having any of that technology, having no idea how the mentality was. So humans been asking the question where they come from for 300,000 years. And into the
right,
1800s, they all thought that they either came from their own tribe, because this is the conversation that's been kicking live. Like, the conversation is like the Egyptians thought that they came from a certain place, and the Hittites thought that they came from a certain place. Clearly, the Hebrews, which is the foundation of Islam and Christianity, thought they came from a different place. Native Americans got their own creation stories, right? So across the board, all different tribes formulate a cosmology, right? And the place where they came from. This is to help, one, their mental health. Two, so they can understand where they are in their world, which is essential, and how you survive and how you give birth to valuable offspring. All these things are important. So I'm telling you, each tribe had their own story. It's not to the 1800s where we start to get out of that thinking that we came from one place. I mean, where we came from all these different places. But you got Bishop Usher. I think I talked about this before. And I think in the 1600s, he talked about how we all came from the Garden of Eden, July the 27th, 9 o'clock in the morning at 4004 BCE. And this was the running theme up until 1800s. And Charles Darwin, in this European right here, Albert Churchwood, he wrote the book in 1918. It's called the Origin and Evolution of the Human Race. And I like to read this portion, this piece right here. Watch this. It says, chapter 1, it says, from studies I have made during many years. It say, I'm fully convinced that the preconceived ideas of many scientists regarding the origins of the human race, both as place and date, are erroneous, and evidence will be brought forward to prove that the human race did not originate in Asia, but in Africa. This evidence will be objective and subjective as proofs of my contention against all learned men of the present day. Now, watch this. The first question which arises is this: when and where did human make his first appearance on this earth? Biblical scholars tell us about 6,000 years ago in Asia. The Ironist school in Asia about 20,000 years ago. Others, including many scientists in Asia or in some mythical land which has now disappeared. All of them have denied Africa as the home of man. So the outer Africa theory is new. So that's the last stop right there. They've tried everywhere, right? But none of it can stand up to the scrutiny. None of it can stand up to the fossils. None of it can stand up to the DNA evidence that clearly verifies that all of us walking on planet Earth are fundamentally African.
All right. So, Brother
But
Austin,
they
do you have
haven't done that same digging. Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
no? Go ahead. Go ahead. Finish. Go ahead. Refute. Go ahead.
All I wanted to say is like they haven't done that. They've gotten that collective that information because they did a lot more digging and excavation in Africa and in the East than in the West. They did a lot more over there than they have over here. Just because they did some over here doesn't amount to the amount that they did over there.
Okay. So,
So that's all I'm saying.
what papers?
So I feel like we're just missing information.
So what papers do you have to substantiate that they did more digging in the East than they did in the West? Do you have anything you can show, or that's just something you believe in or something you're repeating?
That's something that I feel like I know because like I don't when you look at when you look at history, when you learn history, when you like learn history as a whole, like you world history in world history class, you find most of the diggings that they've done in Africa and in Europe. And that's just me talking going based off of like school learning. This is like some college and some high school. But
So
I've taken
again,
world history for 8 years.
So you don't have a book or an article that you can show us that says it was more digging, and you don't have it. So it's just something you know from your K through 12 education and a little bit of your collegiate education. Okay. All right. Well, brother Austin, do you have any last words? Because I have a sister that just came on the platform. Her name is Sister Empress Fran. She was in the chat and she said we were already here, and she has proof that Black people were already here. So I want to give this sister an opportunity to share her views. So do you have any closing words, Brother Austin?
I just want to say she's right. I found out that I only had one ancestor from Africa. One ancestor. The rest were Cherokee, Lumbee, and North Carolina, South Carolina natives, and like 2 white folks. So she right. You should do your research. And that's like, yeah. All right, I'm done.
Okay. All right. All right, brother.
Did you ask me we got it?
And how can I watch the live? I watch it on your Instagram?
No. Go to YouTube. So go to my Instagram, click the link in the bio, and it's going to take you to just click on the link that says videos. So click on the link in my bio and then come back. Okay. Well, just check it out in the YouTube. Okay. You take care, brother.
Doc, did you
have a good
You have a good one.
Where'd you get your DNA test from? Just
curious. He didn't do a DNA test.
I don't do a DNA test. I just did ancestry.com and I just looked and found out who was who and what was what. I only had one ancestor from Africa.
Yeah, your next
that came on a boat and it was recorded. Yeah,
why don't you just get a DNA test and knock it off? Get it out the way.
No, because ancestry DNA tests aren't real. They aren't real. I'll let her explain it. I'll let sis explain it. I have proof about that. I got PBS. I can pull up PBS.org. I can pull up proof on that.
You have any children?
Yeah.
How you know they're yours? How you know they're yours?
That's a maternity test. That's different from that's different. That's a paternity test. That's way different from the test. They don't go around digging up dead bodies and taking their DNA. For ancestry.
I said, how you know they're yours? You ain't gonna answer.
How do I know they're mine?
Yeah.
Because they act like me. They be acting crazy. They crazy Indians like they daddy. The rest of their family, they crazy.
Hey, you know what?
You said Indians. He just said crazy Indians. Brother Austin. Brother Austin.
Crazy Indians, man. Yeah. Crazy indigenous people.
I told you, there go that identity crisis, man.
Yeah.
Now we
not.
Indians. We
I only have one
Americans.
ancestor from Africa. I only have one ancestor for Africa. How is that identity crisis?
You said, but that was the person. So then your lineage, everything else was traced through the Americas.
No, that's one. Okay.
But that one ancestor that came out brother, come on, don't do that. So what I'm saying
is, parents, you have 4 grandparents.
Right.
You have 2 parents, you have 4 grandparents, you have 8 great-grandparents.
Hold on, let me mute you. Let me mute you because I was trying to talk and I told you, Brother Austin, at the beginning, you got to give people a chance to talk. What I'm saying to you is that ancestor that you said got off the boat, right? My question to you is that as far as when you traced your lineage, Was that the last person you found? Yes or no? Was that the last person you found? Like when you traced your lineage back, was that the last person, the person that got off the boat? Okay, that was my question. Okay, there you go. So you going to this two-parent, all this basic biology crap. That's not what I was asking you. I had a simple question. All right. So brother Austin, I'm gonna let you go. And I don't want to be rude to Empress Fran because she's been waiting a while. So peace and love to you, brother. Thank you so much for coming on. Sister Empress Fran, I saw you in the chat, Queen, and you said we were already here. I have proof. So go ahead, sister. Share your views with us. You gotta unmute your mic, Queen. You gotta unmute your mic.
Oh, okay. I would say you have to love it. He's just very passionate, yeah, about what he's,
Absolutely.
talking about.
Absolutely.
So for me, I traced my and before
Oh, Queen, you're breaking up really bad. Unc, do you hear her or is it me?
Kentucky. Can you hear me?
Brother Unc, unmute your mic.
Microphone.
Yeah, she in and out. She gotta fix that.
Okay, so yeah, Queen, you I
Hello?
heard you say you traced your lineage. You said you traced your lineage, but you didn't. Then you broke up and we couldn't hear you.
Oh goodness.
I know she's
Hello?
on. Yes, I can hear you, Queen.
I'm sorry. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Can you want to go out and come back in on a computer? Do you want to go back out and come back in, Queen, on a computer?
Ooh. Okay. I was getting ready to run and try to get on my computer. Can you hear me
Okay,
now?
go ahead. We can wait. Get on your computer. Get on your computer. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and remove you, Queen. Go ahead and get on your computer. All right. So we're gonna let the Queen. We're gonna let the Queen get on her computer. She was in the chat room saying we Native Americans and we're Native Americans, brother Ankh, and she got all this proof that we are Native Americans. I'm telling you, this is really examples of I do heard the brother call himself an Indian. Like this is no joke. Like this is no disrespect to the young brother, but this is just I'm telling you evidence of the identity crisis that's prevalent in our community. Nobody wants to be African. And for those of you who are joining, who have joined at the beginning of the broadcast, I played this video. Okay, this is a reel that I posted on Instagram with a conversation. It was a discussion I was having with Dr. Malefe Asante. You see the caption? We are Africans, right? I'm gonna play the clip and then I'm gonna read the comments in the comment section, which prompted this discussion tonight. So here we go.
Black people, let's understand we are Africans. That's the first thing. If we don't understand we are Africans and we don't understand how to study and use our culture for our advantage, we will always be considered imitators. So that's the way it comes from. First of all
right. And so that's what he said. We're Africans. Family, when I posted this clip, let me show you some of the comments. I'm just going to read. It's over 200 comments. It's over 200 comments on the. Okay, and she said send the link again. Empress, here you go. The link is in the chat, Queen. All right. And so anyway, if you look at the comments, someone says this, but if we started. Someone says this, but if we started in the States and branched out, does it make sense to build one big pyramid and then a bunch of smaller ones? Or does it make sense to start? So this person is arguing that we built the pyramids here and then we branched out from America and went to Africa. Then another person says, Black Americans are not Africans. Another person says, seriously. Then another person says, all Black people are not Africans, the lies he tells. Another person says, I'm not African, I'm an Israelite from the tribe of Judah. Okay. Another person said, I may have a little of this, but though I was born here in America, I'm African and I love that. Okay. And then this other person said, That was our 3,000 to 50,000-year-old past. Today, I am that I am American. I have a greater responsibility to my present state than my past. Another person said, "You're wrong. We're not Africans. Our ancestors were refugees in Africa fleeing Roman persecution." Only people that are from Africa is the Hamites, who are descendants of Ham. They are not Negroes. Look it up. It says, told y'all that y'all were Africans. The white man told you were Africans. Don't even consider Negroes African. This is why they don't like us, because they know who we really are. They conspired with other nations against us, like Europe, Asia, and Arabic. These nations do not like God's people. Another person said, I'm black, but I'm not African. Okay. And then the young brother that was just on, he says, we are not African. Please do research into your family history using national archives and not ancestral DNA tests. They are not real. Thought I was African until I did the real research in my family. Last comment I'm going to read. Someone said, y'all still talking this goofy SHIT in 2022, and none of you can validate this infamous boat ride. So they don't believe it was a boat ride over here. Boat ride to prove what happened otherwise. Stop the childish ish. None of you old or young so-called blacks have absolutely no real proof of this claim. So that's when I said, well, or young. That's when I said, well, what I'm going to do is have a show where I allow these people to come on and to state their claims. All right, to come on and state their claims. So I see that Empress just went out again. Sister Empress, the chat, I saw that you were by your, okay, you're back on, so I'll add you back on. But I'm waiting for her to come in. She came in and left back out. All right, she came in and left back out.
I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere.
All right. All right, so I'm waiting for her to come back in. Sister Empress, come on, because we're getting ready to wrap this up. You said you have some proof, and now your phone's not working, your phone's in and out, your computer's in and out. So I'm giving you an opportunity, Queen, to come on here. Here she goes. Okay, here she is. Your phone's in and out.
I'm back.
Computer's in and out. All right, you got to turn the YouTube off. You got to turn the off. It's an echo, so you got to get rid of the YouTube. Shake your head. I just muted you. Shake your head if your YouTube is off, Queen. Is your YouTube off? Okay. All right. I'll give you 1 minute. Brother Ankh, please stop with the camera off and on. You keep flashing. Brother, all right. You ready, Sister Empress? Okay, let's go. Let's rock. Please stop with the camera off and on. You keep flashing. Yes, I keep hearing. I hear myself, Empress. So if you have like YouTube on right now, or you have a couple of windows up with me or the YouTube, close all of your windows. The only window that should be up is this window. All right, because it's a terrible, terrible echo. Or what I'll do is make sure that I don't talk. And I'll just mute myself and then let you talk. You get what I'm saying? So that we can avoid like the echo. All right, sis, you have the floor.
Okay. So I've done my genealogy, right? I'm 46 years old. I've always lived in Kentucky. Me, I love Africa. I'm married to an African. If I take you back upstairs in my house, you're going to see the whole place is Africa, right? Everything Africa. I've been to Africa more than once. So I'm from Kentucky and Tennessee area. My ancestors are from the Tennessee area. So the London Company had 13 colonies here in the United States from 1619 up until 1776, which is when the revolution was, the American Revolution. They never colonized Kentucky, Tennessee, and from the Midwest to the western side of the United States. They didn't go there. It was the United States was the 13 colonies. So when you look at Nashville, which is Tennessee, right? This area was actually like a seat of government for the Mississippian now Valley Mississippian culture of indigenous people that were already here. So you can find Indian Native American documents, right, of government that they were holding in these areas. So my ancestors, I can find them all the way back into 1800. The first survey that was done here in the United States after they purchased Tennessee and Kentucky, they weren't done until like 1795. I found both of the maps that they did the survey using, and my ancestors lived right in Indian, what would be like they would put a TP on the map, a little triangle that showed it was an Indian, like where Indians lived or where Native Americans were living at that time. So this is where my ancestors are from. Now, if I find my sixth great grandmother and she's living free at their first survey, which was like, or their first census, which was like, the first census was 1790 here in the United States, but the first one in Tennessee wasn't until like 1850. So I find my ancestors there living free, even on their own paper. It says free inhabitants living there as a family. So when you look up the history, even the history that they tell you about Tennessee and Black people, is that they were living freely, but they were under slavery with an overseer, but they were allowed to get married and they were allowed to buy homes and they were allowed to have property, but they were still under slavery. Now, come on now. No. So Kentucky is much the same way. So they came into, like they were purchased, Tennessee was purchased in 1790. Or I think it was 1786, something like that, 1790. Until the mid 1800s, Indians ran Tennessee. That's a fact. You can look it up. So if your family is from there, they didn't even have slavery or apartheid or anything. Look on the census, it'll tell you. You see black and white living like close side by side. It was about the land and it was about labor rights. I mean, labor, it was a labor dispute, which is what Kanye West said. You find a lot of Black people that own their own farms and have their own businesses. All of these are facts that are verifiable. This is what everybody is talking about. I've done so many hours of research. It's crazy. So when people say we were already here, that is exactly what they mean. We were already here. When I asked my ancestors, right, even you have to think, look at some of the buildings that we have here in the United States, even in the government buildings, right? Take a look at them. They were built in a time when there were no heavy machinery. Who built them? Horse and buggy. I spoke to my great uncle is still alive right now. He's the one that's been helping me to do the research. He's the one who told me, no, you're not from Africa. You're from right here. So look at some of the old buildings that we have. Who built them? When he was young, when he was a boy, those buildings were here and they were using horse and buggy. Look at the old pictures. Everybody is horse and buggy in it. So how did they build these buildings? They did not have skyscrapers. And the buildings exist. You can see people in horse and buggy looking at the big buildings. So something in their story isn't correct. I mean, the way they're telling the history, Michael Jackson said they're lying to you about your history. So this is something that people really like. When you really do the research and you start to look at old documents, old pictures, you start to really see that, wait a minute, the story they gave us is not correct. I don't care what they put in the book and what they say as a fact. They found 12,000-year-old skeletons down in South America that are Negroid. So, no, they haven't dug everything. No, they haven't researched everywhere. They haven't. My friend owns property here where I live right now. She says there's a graveyard, a slave graveyard. You don't know that it's a slavery graveyard. Do you all think that slaves had tombstones? Can you? I can't hear you.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Sister
yeah. Some
Empress.
slaves
I
had
hear you.
tombstones. Yeah, some
Yeah, I'm sorry,
slaves had
Sister.
tombstones.
Like with engravements and all of that
Yeah,
type of stuff.
yeah, some
Absolutely.
slaves. Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't agree with that. Like who would do that?
Wow.
What do you
That's
mean
somebody.
you? What do you mean you wouldn't agree with that when
So
you
the
can
slave
drive
owner
down a
will
you
spend
can drive down you
the slave owner will spend money to do a headstone on a slave.
hold up, just hold up one sec, Sister Empress. I wanted to kind of go back to a point that you made because you made a lot of points. You
Oh,
mentioned
sorry.
Nile Valley culture down there by, you said Mississippi. Could you tell me, can you elaborate or expound on this Nile Valley culture that was
This is
there?
what this is what they have called it since they okay, according to America, they found Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon.
Oh,
So,
that was proven. Okay, so Brother Ankh, I know we didn't tackle that claim a few times about
mhm.
Egyptian artifacts being found in the Grand Canyon. Then
Oh,
we deal with that. I think we
I
dealt
didn't
with
make
that
it up.
before.
This is how they described it to me. So if
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah, yeah.
false,
But I've heard that claim before that Egyptian artifacts were found in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. But I felt like we dealt with that before, Ankh. Am I not correct?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't follow. I
yeah.
don't follow the show. I just was. I think I'm subscribed to this channel, but as I was going through tonight, I saw this whole thing about the proof that we were already here. And as far as I'm concerned, for me and myself and my family, that's proof to me. If I find my family here living freely at a time when there's supposed to be slavery going on, which lots of people have found, then I know that's what it is. Now, they've always said, oh, there's always been free people of color.
I was just about to say. I was just
This
getting ready
is
to say
right,
that. So go ahead.
but and what, like, so that doesn't explain where did these free people of color. So you're saying people came here from Africa, you were a slave long enough, and then you got your money together and you bought your freedom? Like, what does that mean, free people of color? There's always been people of color. There's historically America, North America, South America was a black continent.
Okay.
Benjamin Franklin said it in his letter concerning the peopling of the nations. Have you never seen that letter before?
Okay. So no, I do wanna
I will pull it up. Hold on.
okay, and I do want to address your claim that there were um um da da da
So
da da.
can I
Hold on,
ask,
hold on, brother Ankh. I do want to say this that I know the sister mentioned that there was Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon,
yeah,
but if you Google that, it's
yeah, that.
a lot of evidence out there that debunks that. They're saying, there's fake reports of a find that an Egyptian material in the Grand Canyon is based on a 1909 letter by a purported Smithsonian Institution explorer called G.E. Kincaid, who claimed to have discovered a cave during an expedition by an anthropologist S.A. Jordan. And it says in such a place was found all kinds of Egyptian stuff. So that's what he claimed. It said the story caused a sensation, but was soon met with skepticism. The Smithsonian has no record of either a scientist nor this scientist nor their discoveries. Okay, it says shockingly there was no such cave or Egyptian findings. So this was based on a letter by some guy that claimed to be a Smithsonian explorer, and come to find out, they Smithsonian, this is now scientists. So that idea of Egyptian artifacts being in the Grand Canyon is fake. Go ahead, brother Ankh. I know you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I ain't gonna run. I ain't gonna run around the board in the rabbit hole. So I just want to dispel something real quick here. Um, show my screen here. It says, do you live on Earth? Are
I
your
do.
ancestors from Earth? Or are
They
they
are.
from a space planet
What
somewhere?
kind of question is that?
No,
Like,
that's a, no.
is that a
Listen,
serious question?
I mean, yes.
Don't talk
Do
to
you
me
think
like that. Don't talk to me like
no,
that.
sis? I'm
Yeah,
gonna ask
don't
you
do
one
that.
thing, sis.
Don't do that. Are you
Sis,
from
I didn't
Earth?
get so. Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
but you asked me if my ancestors are from Earth.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
as far as I know, I look, sound, and am a human being.
Are
So
you
don't talk
sure?
to me like that.
I know. Are you sure though?
And don't talk to me.
No. The
You
reason.
want to come
No,
to me and insult me?
sis,
Really?
I would never insult you.
Just go. You don't have anything to say.
Sis, I didn't say anything
Ma'am,
smart,
are you
and I
finished
respect.
with me?
No,
No,
let me
I don't
finish.
want to
brother,
talk to
brother,
you.
brother Ankh, let brother Ankh. She was offended
I
by
don't
your
have
comment.
anything to say
Okay,
to
so okay,
you.
but so
No,
listen,
no, you're not
sis,
gonna call me. Say if I'm a human being. What kind of
no,
nonsense is
because
that?
I've heard
Just
no,
go
because
away, sir.
no,
Go
plenty of
away,
people have said that they don't accept the term human being.
man. Sir,
Seriously, I
don't
wasn't
talk
being.
to me.
You don't accept that your ancestors came from Africa, so that's disrespectful to me.
I
I
didn't
wasn't
say
being
that. I
disrespectful.
didn't say that.
You did. You said they
What
was
I said
already
was
here.
me. I believe in Gondwana. I believe in Pangaya, not Jira,
No,
but
first of all, you know
Pangaya.
what? I
Yeah.
figure what you're doing right now because
So
I apologize if I offended you, but you have offended me for 25 straight minutes, and I've said absolutely nothing to you. So I'm not trying to be funny, and I wouldn't disrespect a woman. So that's not fair to try to run off on the con. You're trying to run, sis. That's the truth. I was simply saying, if you're a human being, then if your ancestors were born on Earth, then they are affected by natural forces on Earth. They have DNA evidence. Your ancestors would have to have DNA. So you can't escape DNA. That's all. That's why I asked you. Now, if you thought that, like some people I know actually think they come from other planets, people think all kind of stuff, sis. So I wasn't being funny. I wasn't cracking a joke. So if your ancestors did come on Earth, then they come from Africa first. There's no getting around that. That's all I was trying to say. I wasn't trying to be
the
funny.
DNA. So yeah, so DNA is here on Earth, but
Yes, that's all I'm saying,
in the
sis.
grand scheme of things, right? All black matter is from space.
No, you being disrespectful to me. See, I could play
Okay,
the same
but
crazy
that's
game.
reality.
No,
So
it's not.
I
We're
mean,
not living in reality right now.
okay. So in physics, space and is made up of black matter. That's just that. Now that you talk about facts, that is
Nope,
a
I don't want
fact.
to talk about that. Nope, I don't want
Okay.
to talk about that. I want to talk
So
about DNA evidence that's in your blood, that's in your body, that you can actually take a DNA test that's real and legitimate. So I'm
So
not being smart.
all you need to do is look up the thousands and thousands of scientists who have said that DNA, telling people where they are from based on their DNA, is nonsense. That nobody believes that. Now,
That's fine, sis.
can you use DNA to find people that are kin to you? Yes, you can. However, DNA to tell you where you from and this how many percent you this many percent Irish and this many percent, it's a lie. It's fake.
So on the screen, I got the skin color map, sis.
Oh, bro,
So
listen.
the skin. Let me just say what I want to say because
I've
I
seen
can't.
this map before.
Okay,
Okay,
so
go
then,
ahead.
so
Go
so
ahead.
hold on, sis. Let me talk.
Go
So
ahead.
on this map right here, it's clear that the Native American population, right, can be dark brown, can be light brown. It's clear there. So the whole argument about we was here, there are brown people that live in North America before any Europeans came. So that's off the table, right? I also want to show you this. I want to show you this map right here. This is a DNA map and quick child, right? That's 12,700 years ago, right? Okay, you also have a 10,400 year fossil find down here in South America, right? You got the Mondin Verde, 14,500 years ago. These are all finds. I showed you skin map. None of these people are white looking at all. So we're not arguing that. Simple as that. So very well speaking, some of your ancestors could have been Native Americans. The conversation is that your ancestors came from Africa first and mutated over time as they walked here. That's what we're saying, sis. So you very well could have Native American ancestry. I'm not saying you're not. But to say that
then
you
Native
don't,
American ancestry is African
Sis,
ancestry.
I just want to finish my point, sis.
As I
I'm
said before.
saying that
Now
anybody that comes from planet Earth, right, their ancestors start out in Africa first. That's why I asked the question, did your ancestors come from Earth? It was a good question. If they did come from Earth, they start out on Earth in Africa first, sis. And I don't got time.
We're not called Earthians. We're called Americans, Africans, Brazilians, right?
Could be that,
so,
sis.
as I was saying before, like I said before, yes, Africans populated the Earth. We know that. Nobody's saying that they didn't. I mean,
so now we're on the same page. Thank you, sis.
No, I'm not saying that they didn't. But what I'm saying is, when it comes to the way that the world is set up now, Africans, American, Chinese, Turkish, German, we Americans were already here. So this is, I mean, and
how they get here, sis? How they get here?
Oh, we were up. First of all, right now, currently in Africa, when you look on the eastern side, there's currently a rift that is being created. Is there not? Yes, it is. And there are people.
Wait, you're asking questions and answering your own questions, and yet you will not talk to me?
There are people.
How insulting is that?
There are people on both. I didn't mean to insult you. I'm just trying to go fast so I can get off of here. There are people living on both. Why don't you
just get off of here then, sis? If that's the point. I want to learn from you. You really learn from me.
It's not your show. There are people that are living on both sides of the rift that is currently taking place in Africa at this moment. So once that rift finally breaks apart, the people that are on the other, on the thinner side of the rift, will we now call them something different than Kenyan or African, or what will they be known as? The same for me and my own eyesight of what has happened in Africa and South America. And there are plenty of documentaries that talk about this very fact, that Africa and South America were connected as Gondwana. So they are, this is why they want to come back. This is why they want to come home. So yes, the people who were,
Queen, let me interject at the finish.
That separated it.
Okay, Queen, let me ask you a question. Do you listen? Are you subscribed to Dan Calloway, Queen? By any chance, do you listen to Dan Calloway?
Listen, I do listen to Dan Calloway because he makes sense.
That's your problem, right there.
To research.
He has no research, sis.
No, to research your own background. There's plenty. You know what has happened to me from researching my background so much? I learned that my family was here and free. They didn't come off of a slave ship. They were here and free.
I don't believe you, sis. I don't believe you.
Now I don't believe you. And free, and they weren't in not all. No, my mother's father's mother was actually born on a slave plantation. But on my mother's side, my mother's side, her mother's down the line were never in slavery. And I'm back to my 6th great grandmother. They own land.
So why not just get a DNA test, though, sis? Why not just take a DNA test? If you're so sure.
A DNA test will tell me that I was in colonization or not?
No, the DNA test will show you if the mutation occurred in North America or somewhere else. That's all a DNA test is. It can give you geographical regions. It doesn't denote race, but it'll tell you what area you was at least in. And if you're so confident in your research, then you should not have a problem with that. What are you afraid of? So my question to you is, sis, watch this, sis. Sis, hold on. Let me say this point.
We're never going to see eye to eye on the subject because you're trying to. I just got back from spending 6 months in Ghana. So literally, like less than a month ago. Right. So what I'm trying to tell you is that I don't have any aversion to saying that we have African DNA. Of course we do.
However, did all humans start in Africa, sis?
Listen, all humans
No,
have
that's
African DNA.
that's a
All you have to
coherent
do is
question.
watch on YouTube. You're gonna see African DNA after African
Sis,
DNA
I'm
in people
asking,
that are Mexican, in people
sis,
that are Arab. You're gonna see the same African DNA. I watch these all the time, right?
can I ask you,
So it's not.
can I say this,
There's
sis?
nothing different than that. And what
Sis,
you will find is that there have been people here for thousands of years with that same African DNA. Yeah,
what up, sis? Listen, now if you just want to talk,
bro.
just keep talking, then I don't need to be here, and you can tape a YouTube video and just talk. But if you want to have an intelligent conversation, right? We start off real rocky, right?
Okay,
I'm
very good.
confused. You got some people, you got some of your ancestors that come from Africa and some of your ancestors that are Native American. And to be fair, that is completely possible. So I'm not fighting you on that point. So if that's the only point you're making, then we don't have to have the conversation because it is possible. So that's not my conversation is that those Native Americans came from Africa first and walked this way and mutated over time. That's the real conversation. So do you think that's
I wasn't
accurate?
there, so I can't say that, and there's no way to know that. So yeah, I don't know who walked where.
What do you
Like
mean
I
is
said,
no way to know? What do you mean there's no way to know that,
Well,
Queen?
how
What
they
about
get here?
well,
fossil records, DNA? I mean, what do you
as
mean?
I
What do you
just
mean there's
gave,
no way to
as
know
I
that?
just gave the example that the Rift Valley, there's a big Rift Valley going on right now in Africa. It's gonna break apart, right? Eventually, it will break apart. There will be people that are living on both sides of the rift. And then there's one thing that's called continental drift. Elon Musk talked about it the other day. So with continental drift, they'll move further and further apart, which is what happened with South America and Africa, right?
How
There
long
was
ago?
a rift because of an earthquake. But we
How
weren't
long
there.
ago,
They
sis?
don't know that there weren't people there then.
How long
They
ago,
got a
sis?
map of the continent, Gondwana. So
Sis, how long
why
ago? How long
so
ago?
who drew
Do you know the
that
date?
map? Who drew that map? I don't
Do you
know.
know the date? Do you know the
Yeah, it
date?
says 180 million years ago, but where is their
Do you
proof?
know that? I'm saying, do you
And
know the date?
their carbon dating is wrong. All of that
Oh
stuff they
man.
don't know.
The
Sis,
carbon
I mean,
dating is
so really? So that's
Listen,
the game we're gonna play that they all
look
wrong, and
it
then you
up.
get mad at me.
Oh,
So then they wrong from us being on Earth, and your ancestors don't come from Earth. Why they right about that? Why you get mad at me when I say that your ancestors come from Earth? You got slapped, mad, want to get me off, disrespectful. But why not? Since we just making up stuff, why do your ancestors have to come from Earth?
I didn't say that out that but scientists have long
Why?
recognized that carbon dating is subject to error.
show your
Of
screen.
a
Show your screen.
variety.
Show your
You
screen.
have let me see.
Just share your screen. We love to see what you're reading. So you hit share down the bottom, Queen, and
I
then it's
know,
gonna.
I see it. I see it.
Okay, good. I just want to see what you're reading and from what website.
Mm,
Do you understand when Homo sapiens sapiens arose in Africa though? So you 300 million years, there aren't any mammals yet. There are dinosaurs. There's dinosaurs
can
and
you
stuff
see
like that.
this?
I'm waiting for it to pop up. You got to hit share and then hit another screen. So
I
once you hit
did.
share, yeah, once
It
you hit
says
share,
entire screen or windows. Let me see here. Hold on.
just do your entire screen.
With Dr. Mayat, we know that the datings aren't exact. That's
Oh
why they
yeah.
take more than what they use radiocarbon dating, thermoluminescent dating. They use all kind of different dating when they
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely,
the dating
absolutely.
strand, not just one thing. So it's always an approximate date. There's no exact like God 20,000. No,
No,
none of that.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
not how science says that. What we do know is there's no finds, no fossil finds that date back to 300 million years of Homo sapiens sapien Native Americans. That we do know, sis. Matter of fact, I got a map. I'm gonna show you the map.
I don't know
All right,
why
go.
it's not doing that. What can you see it?
No,
It's
I
saying
can't see any. I
I
can't see
can
anything.
see I can see it in the background here. Hold on. It says not responding.
Hit the word share. You see the word share down there?
No, I know that. I can see share. What is happening is I'm getting a spinning thing, the weight thing.
Oh, because what kind of internet service you got?
Spectrum.
You got the Native American?
Yeah, I was gonna say, now you're ready to insult my whatchamacallit, my internet.
Nah, insult your internet. Let me have some fun. Let's lighten it.
Yeah, you gonna say I'm not.
We just have it fun, Queen. We just have it fun, Queen.
Like I'm an alien or something, or even if I'm an alien,
Christ,
I'm that. But
we just
I'm not.
Fun, Queen.
Try to insult me. Are you?
I'm not. If you was here 300 million years ago, you super special. If your ancestors was here 300 million years ago, then look, we all need to share in that bread. Because you're going to get some money.
Your ancestors was here 300 million years ago. Ask them what's the extra DNA for. They kind of say it's junk DNA. No. Why do we have extra DNA? It's not junk DNA. They just don't know.
Yeah, I like Sister Everest. I like her. I'm telling you.
She got.
I like her. I like her.
You almost tricked me early in the game, sis. I realize I like you. You almost had
me. Messing up on me. I don't know what else to do here. It's like
no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, Queen. But you know, it's okay, Queen. Don't worry about it. But I do appreciate you coming on tonight. You know, to share your views.
We was already
with us.
We was already here, so we have a claim to this land, like anybody else does.
How about the Egyptians? How about the Egyptians? Is they here too? Because they want their land back too. So the Egyptians gonna get y'all first. See, y'all gotta do it.
You don't understand that's the whole. You don't even understand that's the whole plan.
So
that's the plan.
So when y'all take it,
of course they want to come home. If this was their like this was their connection here, why wouldn't they want to come home? What you talking about? Of course.
What? Yes. You having too much. Hey, look, Dan Calloway.
Dan Calloway is
I'm all for it.
Dan Calloway is.
Listen, I'm all for it.
Yeah, he does have millions of views, and he has a huge following, and that's really dangerous, brother.
You know what it is. What the reason why you
what is it, Queen?
Dangerous. Let me tell you why you think it's dangerous. Because people are gonna really find out that. Oh, wait a minute.
That we're Native Americans.
That my family was already here. Yeah.
You said not all of them. You said not all of them.
Even they have changed it. First they said, you know, how we brought all the slaves here, blah, blah, blah. Then they changed to pbs.org, which is what the other brother was trying to tell you guys. But they changed to 388,000. Now they're saying, no, it was actually 96,000. Now they're like, wait a minute, let's just do another.
What are they changing?
Now, how many, the amount of people they actually brought here during slavery. So at the first census, which you can use Google,
you guys just say you don't like
Google
the fact.
You're going to see.
Sis, I know it's traumatizing.
No, listen.
I know it's traumatizing.
I was
you
talking.
Said you refuse to think that your ancestors were slaves. Just say it, sis. I'm not mad at you. It's very traumatizing to think that some people captured you, put you on a damn boat like animals, treat you like fools, and then enslaved you for 250 years.
I'm not
going to Jim Crow and Jim. I get it, sis.
I'm not going for that.
Don't accept that, and we'll be good. I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to sit here and allow you to degrade the process. The truth is the truth. The facts are the facts. We got enslaved. You can and we're trying to fight all that process, sis.
Okay.
So I'm not trying to escape. It's called
escapism. This what you're doing is an act.
To escape. No, you're trying to escape.
It's an act.
All you got to do is get a DNA test. Act. I tell you what, sis.
That's an act.
Right and get a DNA test.
That's fake.
I bet you won't get a DNA
fake.
test.
What I say is that's
fake. You won't get a DNA test.
Hold on, let me hold my ink pen. I've had two. 23andMe, and Ancestry.
Pull it up. I don't believe. Pull it up. I don't believe you. Pull it up. You're ashamed of those results.
My screen just says not responding. But listen,
let me tell you this. Did it say you was Native American though?
No. Hold on, sis.
Did it say that?
Go ahead, Queen. I'm listening. I'm right here. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Thank you. Because he's being rude and disrespectful. So now, can you
please
hold on, bro? type in, you were really fast on the screen, sis. Type in the first census, 1790 United States Census.
Well, you got the Dan Calloway nut
Yes,
playbook.
no. I let you talk. And I
You
let
did.
you be disrespectful and say slavery. Just give it a minute.
Playing.
Let
You
me
right.
go through the
You right.
process. Hold
You was
on.
nice to me. You right. You was nice for a minute. Thank
I
you.
know I did, and I even grabbed me an email. I can do the same like you. So
That
now,
was all right, go ahead.
okay.
All right, so where are we? So first U.S. Census 1790. What do you want me to click on, Queen?
There on that census is a graph. You should see like a table inside of that census.
Ain't gonna beat that DNA test though, I bet you.
Okay, no problem.
Do you see the graph under images?
No, when you click on, like when you click and go into the census itself, it's like it should be like a link. You click the link and then it opens up like a table.
Said the first one was in 1790. Here's a 1790 overview.
All you have to do is type in 1790 census.
Okay.
Would you say
So
1790 no sense?
Or
What'd you say?
first
No, she just
90
said, she said 17. That's what I typed in
Yes,
initially.
1790 or even
1790.
the first United States census.
There it is right there. 1790 census. And
And
the first
inside
link
of
that
that
popped up, I
census
clicked.
is a table. You can see.
All right, well, I clicked on it.
Your name on
I
that
clicked
table,
on it.
sis? Your name
So
on there?
what table are you talking about?
Okay, inside of the table, you should see white men, white women, free. Do you see it?
And your
No.
name. We're looking for your name, sis.
You don't
Empress.
see
It's
it.
on there.
No, it's not in here. Where do I go from here?
You don't see the table.
No, yeah. Do you see the table? It's on the screen. Do you see the table?
No, I don't see
It's on the
anything.
screen.
The screen is blank for me.
Oh,
I see
it's
you,
blank for you. Okay, it's blank for you.
me.
Yeah.
I see me, you, or you, me, and then the
And
doctor
you
at the
don't see,
bottom.
do you see the screen at all?
Yes, I see it. I see her name on there. See, it say you was here, sis. Your name is on there. You're right.
No.
You got us.
Okay, so there's no chart. I keep clicking, and I mean, it may have been on one of these tabs, on the different websites. But I mean, I guess since you can't see it, I'm gonna
If you give
stop
me,
sharing.
I don't know. My screen is doing something weird. It says StreamYard, Microsoft Edge not responding. So
Okay,
I
don't
guess
worry about it. Yeah,
it
don't worry about it.
It doesn't work as well, I'm thinking, with this, but I don't like Google. So I just use Microsoft. But
Okay,
uh
we'll
on
close
that,
out, sis. Go ahead, take us out.
Why not Google though?
On that census, you will see there's a table in that census. I mean, lots of people have been talking about it. The first census, they have 768,000 people enslaved here in the United States of America. Now, the year is 1790. They just received basically the country from the London Company. The London Company, there's a whole graph that can show you exactly how many people they brought here during slavery. So the difference in the number of people that they have actually enslaved is the native population here in America. And all you have to do is look at the tribes. They are now starting to admit people into the tribes based on their information.
So I know you in there already, ain't you, sis? I know you look like you in there. Cherokee, what? Blackfoot? You look like you in it. You look like Blackfoot. You Blackfoot? I'm serious.
She's ignoring you, Ox. She's ignoring you. So, Sister Empress,
no, Sister Empress, what
anyway, once you look on that census, you'll see what I'm saying. At the bottom, the total number of slaves outweighs the whole total number that they said they brought to America. So even if let's say they brought the 388,000, which they've changed their mind now and said it's 96,000. 96,000 compared to the 700,000 people they had in slavery, that is the native population.
That's fine. So with the breeding, they bred slaves. When slavery became illegal, They had breeding farms. They actually
They did have breeding farms. However,
they didn't breed you. They didn't breed you because you was already.
however,
We get it. We got it.
no matter what, you can only breed like 1, 2, 5, I don't know, people at a time.
What?
So it's not
Rabbits.
like you're gonna be able to breed a whole millions of people.
Man, are you sure human
in
beings
just
are like
this
rabbits?
short period of time?
Okay.
How are they going to be planting cotton and breeding? I mean, you
What?
got to pick a struggle,
Easy.
bro.
Plant the cotton during the day and make the babies at night. That's how you do it.
Okay.
You know, like
I
you go to
mean,
work on the day.
not saying they can't, but what I'm saying is that they have a problem with the numbers and they know it. Okay. That's why they keep changing it. That's why now they've created a website and to try to create a visual effect, and now they're making fake slave ships. All of that is to try to solidify.
Sis,
yes,
I got
they are
fake slave ships.
Yes, they are.
Okay. Hold on, brother Ankh and brother Empress. I didn't heard enough. Sister Empress, take us out. What are your closing words before you exit, Queen? What
My closing words are this: that they have been able to find 12,000-year-old fossils on the earth. They've been able to find so many like ancient objects on the earth. Slave ships are only 400 years old. I can take you to ships that are at least 200-300 years off the coast of Miami, because I used to sail when I lived in Miami. Where them slave ships at? That's all I got to say.
Actually, they found you're familiar with
Clotilda.
Yeah.
They found Clotilda once people start saying, wait a minute, where the slave ships at? How convenient is that? Yeah, I don't believe them. They don't.
But what about the records? What about the records that, what about the accounts of sailors and captains and African captives themselves? What about those accounts? What about the records?
From the African captains?
Captives. I don't like saying the word slave.
African captives wrote books?
Yeah, the captives. Yeah. No. The oral, they took a lot of, they had the recordings of the oral histories, and even, okay. So,
what about all the Africans today that are saying that we were already here? There are tons of Africans that are.
Hold on. I had to mute you because I was trying to talk and you were talking to me, and we both can't talk at the same time. And I think that I've been very patient, and listen to you, listen to Ankh, and so now it's my turn to speak, right? So what I noticed is that you will accept that they're finding that they found Egyptian artifacts in the Grand Canyon. So you accept that claim, but then you won't accept the claim that there were slave ships, right? Or the merchant ships, as they called them, the merchant ships. So you will accept that it's 12,000-year-old fossils buried somewhere, but then you won't accept it. It seems like we're kind of picking and choosing what you believe. It's like, I'll accept this as long as it fits what I already believe, right? Like I'll accept this as long as it supports what I already feel and believe. But I'm going to reject this if it does not support, if it doesn't support what I currently believe. And the only thing that I'm going to say, Queen, is this, and I'll unmute your mic. I just wanted to say, always remain teachable. Always tell my students that even though I am a professor and I teach them, that I consider myself a student first. I'm always open to new information, and I'm always in student mode. I never feel like I have all of the answers, regardless of my educational level, regardless of my occupation. I never feel like I have all the answers, and I never feel like I'm beyond reproach. Like I can't be corrected because I teach and because I have a PhD in engineering. I'm always a student first. So that's why I don't mind bringing people on a platform to listen to their views and the information that they have, because I may learn something. And so I applaud you and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for you taking time out of your schedule to be with me today. So I'll unmute your mic now, Queen.
Thank you for letting me to come on here. I really appreciate that. I'm not beyond, being educated, because information is all the time. Like, you're always learning something new. So yeah, once the information comes out and they show me, then I will believe it. Until then, I won't believe them. So yeah.
Well, that's your prerogative, Queen. Thank you so much for coming on. Peace and love.
All
All right, brother Ankh. So, oh man, so that was,
I don't believe her.
man, that was woo.
How you not believe them, but then believe them?
Hey, that's why I said peace
Why
and
is that?
love, Queen. To you, you know.
How do we pick and choose? We don't believe the white man, but yet any archives you're using is done by the white man. Why ain't just slip a Mickey in there? I'm gonna freak
Absolutely.
them out. I'm gonna get like. Let me share my screen, Doc, real quick. Let
All
me
right,
show
go
you
ahead.
that
Go
y'all
ahead.
not familiar with. I enjoyed the dialogue with the sister. She just got me wrong right out the rip, though. So what we have here is Smithsonian Global. This is actually the Slave Wreck Project. Okay. All right. The project. More than 12 million Africans were enslaved on the transatlantic slave trade era, 1525, 1867. The estimate thousand ships traversing the Atlantic Middle Passage are believed to have wrecked. Okay. So there's thousands of ships that have wrecked. All right. And this process right here on this website will show you what they have found or what they have not found. No one is spending thousands of dollars to look for ships that don't exist. Nobody wastes money like that. Nobody does that. So it's actually the Slave Wreck Project, National Geographic. Okay, look it up. My fault. Smithsonian Global. Look it up. Slave Wreck Project. Anybody that's in the Washington D.C. area can go to the African American Museum. It's a beautiful museum. All my children went, and they have on loan pieces of a particular slave ship. All right, they got it on loan there to the museum. When you go into the bottom, you start off, you go in the elevator, go down to the basement, you work your way up. When you get up the elevator, you got Queen Nzinga there. She's the first face you see getting off that, right? And that section is talking about slavery and how we were human cargo and how we were actually the global economy.
Absolutely. Yep. That's on
Yes,
the bottom floor, the fourth floor. Absolutely. And
that's
like you said, Brother Ankh, it's a wonderful, wonderful exhibit
experience.
there. Wonderful. And yeah, it's a beautiful experience. So if you are in the DC area, I do agree with Brother Ankh. Go and check it out. All right. So, Brother Ankh, do you have any closing words for the listening audience? I know I sure do, but I want you to go first.
Well, I mean, we had a fiery conversation. That's what makes this show so good. We close. You let me go right up to the line. You let me stick my toe over a little bit. I know not to go too far.
It was funny though. It was cool. It was so cool. It was
Yeah, you let me go up to the line, stick my big toe over a little bit. I was having fun with her. But yeah, I think people can look at the download, watch the download, and it was very educational. And so for the people listening, get your timelines together. If you're going 300 million, you're not talking about any mammals. Humans are mammals. So that Pangea started to work its way apart at about 300 million years. Okay, the continents are still moving, right? So it is what it is. It was an intelligent conversation. I appreciate it. I don't know, you got people coming through, and that's a good, healthy show right there. Like, you know how they got on YouTube, they got they get different street balls and different players to try to defeat an NBA player. Now, the NBA player don't be no superstar, right? It'd be a retired NBA player that actually sat on the bench. Be like the last person on the bench. What they're saying is that an NBA player that was on the bench can't none of y'all beat him. And man, the NBA player be wearing them out. So this show remind me of that, yo. Come and beat a doctor and the regular old guy. See if you can get us. It ain't happening. And that's the theme of this show. That's why I like, let's see if they can get us, doc.
Let's see if they can get us. I got a pastor that wants us. It's his
Bring it
name.
through.
Yeah, he wants to come on tomorrow at 7. It's a pastor. He wants to come on, and he's arguing that Christianity came out of Ethiopia. He has a PhD, and he wants to argue that Christianity came out of Ethiopia.
What?
And
A
so,
PhD in
yeah,
what?
I don't know, but I'm gonna ask
Out
him
of
when he gets on the
Ethiopia.
platform. But let me see. His name is Pastor. Hold on, I'm getting ready to tell everyone. His name is
Pastor Bennett.
Pastor. Why No, the Reverend Keon Johnson. The Reverend Keon Johnson. So he has 2.2 thousand followers online. Let me view his profile really quickly. It says thought leader, clergyman, animal lover, theologian. Okay, so he has so yeah, he's arguing that that Christianity came out of Ethiopia. So I'm gonna bring him on tomorrow night. What you doing tomorrow night, brother Ankh? You think you'll be ready around 7 p.m. to sit down with this pastor?
Beating them up. Let me ask you this question. Why you? I don't understand. Why would Black Christians need Christianity to come from a
From
Black faith?
Ethiopia, exactly.
Why
And
you
I'm
need
like,
that? If you down with Christ, Christ could be pearly white. It wouldn't matter. He's the savior of the world.
right,
Wouldn't matter. See, that's what I'll be like. Well, why I gotta be? Why they gotta come? Why Christianity gotta be in Africa for you to accept it? Why can't it just be? Why not from Europe? Like, is that a problem? If it was from Europe, would it be a problem? If
right.
Jesus Christ had blue eyes and blonde hair, would you still worship the savior of the world? See that? How about from India? Maybe he's from North America. Would you still follow him? Is that the piece that make you jump off the boat if it's not from Ethiopia? See, that's the question I would like to ask. Because if I was a believing Christian, I wouldn't care if Christ came from China. He could have been Chinese. If I thought he was saving the world, right, by driving the bus, I wouldn't care who drove the daggone bus to save the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it interesting that they fight for that. The Bible don't promote that though. The Bible tell you. Remember we was on the other day.
We already, yeah. So we'll talk to him tomorrow. But like you said, they just the Christian apologists. When we say that Christianity is a European religion, they want to claim that it's black. It's a black African religion, and they run to Ethiopia or they run to Augustine and say he was a church father and all of this other stuff. So I'm pretty. I know he's going to come with those same claims tomorrow, and so we'll be ready for him, brother Ankh. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Family, join me back here. Join us back here, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, as we sit down with the Reverend Keon Johnson to talk about Christianity coming out of Ethiopia. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace and Black
Peace.
power.